Hi class, it's Mrs. Perrone and we're on page 26 of your shiny math book. We are switching gears away from addition and subtraction and moving on to multiplication and division of positive and negative numbers in this lesson. So in lessons 1 through 3, you learned that adding integers is a lot like adding and subtracting whole numbers. Take a look at this problem. So we want to know what numbers complete table 1 and what numbers complete table 2. We have multiplication and then the product. Product is our, it's like one of our vocab words for this lesson. The product is the result of multiplication. So this is called a factor, this is called a factor, and this is called the product. So the little dot in the middle is one way to represent multiplication. So this says 3 times 3, which is 9, 3 times 2, which is 6, 3 times 1, which is 3, 3 times 0, which is 0. So we can notice a pattern that takes us from one product to the next. As you can see, they are decreasing by 3 every time. So based on the pattern we see here, we can complete the table and then match that up with the multiplication. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 3 times negative 2, go down 3 more, would be negative 6. And 3 times negative 3, go down 3 more, would be negative 9. In table number 2, we have, again, a little bit of multiplication, and if you want, you can actually match up this little multiplication problem with this one down here. They say the same thing. So 3 times negative 3 is the same as negative 3 times 3, which is negative 9. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 times 0, anything times 0 is 0. Negative 3 times negative 1. So we'll stop right there and see if we can observe a pattern that gets us from one product to the next. So to get from negative 9 to negative 6, we are adding 3. From negative 6 to negative 3, again, we're adding 3. From negative 3 to 0, we're adding 3. And so negative 3 times negative 1 would be, if we were to add 3 more than 0 is 3. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6, and negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. By the way, the key word or the mystery word for this page is pineapple. So we're going to use the math we already know to solve the problem, and we're going to again be looking at the numbers in the tables above. So look for a pattern in the products in table 1. So look for a pattern in the products, a pattern in these numbers, which we already kind of see. Each product decreases by 3. So I can fill in table 1 by adding negative 3 to each product. So if you add negative 3 to each of these numbers, you'll be able to continue the pattern. When can you use your entry in table 1 for why can you use your entry in table 1 for 3 times negative 3 to find the product for negative 3 times 3 in table 2? So remember we said, or I told you when we were looking at these, that 3 times negative 3 got us negative 9, and then negative 3 times 3 also gave us negative 9. So we have the same two numbers being multiplied, they're just in a different order. There's actually a property in math that says that we can multiply stuff in any order and the product doesn't change. And you guys already know this. For example, we know 5 times 2 is 10, and we know that 2 times 5 is also 10. So we can take the information that we know here and use it to start our table 2 over here. So to answer the question, why can you use your entry in table 1 to find the product for this? Because you can multiply stuff in any order and the product doesn't change. That's what we'll write. Because you can multiply stuff in any order and the product doesn't change. Okay, now we're going to move on to the pattern in table 2 up here. I can fill in table 2 by adding 3 to each product. And then it says fill in table 2, but we already did. what do you notice about the factors that result in a negative product? Okay, so the factors that result in a negative product would be that one, and that one. So these are the factors that result in a negative product, -9, -6, and -3. Well, what I notice is when one of the factors is negative and one of the factors is positive, the result is negative. So I'm going to summarize that down here. I'm going to say if I multiply a positive by a negative, the outcome is negative. And in this table, we have a negative outcome here, here, and here. So same thing, when one is negative and one is positive, the outcome is negative. When you're multiplying and one's positive and one's negative, the outcome is negative. So we'll say, and you could reverse these two and the outcome would still be negative. So you could multiply a positive by a negative and the outcome would be negative. And the last question, what do you notice about the product when both factors are negative? So I'm going to switch colors here. We're going to look at what happens when both factors are negative. And we can observe that in table number 2 at the bottom. Here we have 2 negative integers resulting in a positive number. Here we have 2 negative integers being multiplied resulting in a positive number. And again, here we have 2 negative numbers resulting in a positive number when you multiply them. So what I noticed about the product when both factors are negative is that a negative times a negative is a positive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in class.